Hello everybody and welcome to Mari and Recap Land, where you guess it, recap the latest story updates in JP and also sometimes events. So, this update went a lot of places. It wasn't a bad update, but it went a lot of places. Like, when I first started scripting this out, when I was actually going to use a script instead of just, talking off of my head, I was like, oh, this is so chill, like, this is gonna be a really easy video to make, and then, like, in the last, 3 parts, it just goes all the way. It just gets, it's not, crazy, but, it gets a little crazy. So yeah, it is an interesting update. It's a good update, don't get me wrong. I knocked back 2 large coffee drinks in order to stay up all night to get this out ASAP, and, I think it's hitting. It's hitting. I'm unmedicated, but I have my coffee, so, and that's also when my voice is, kind of mucusy, because I forgot that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be loading up on coffee drink with milk. Anyways, so my bad on that one. That was a rookie mistake on my part. But anyways, so let's talk about the Book 8 update, because this goes places. Anyway, here's what happens in Book 8, chapters 1 through 25. So we open with a mere dream sequence, as is tradition at this point. Yu dreams about the evil queen, both in her normal form and the hag form. There's not really any, dialogue in it from what I remember. I didn't make a note if there was. But afterwards, we hear Crowley say that this is where it all began. I feel more assured in my theory he's the queen's, raven familiar, but I digress. Yu's alarm goes off. They and Grim wake up. They both had weird dreams. I mean, you obviously had the one we just saw. And then Grim is like, my fur changed color, and it's like, okay, that sucks, but okay, I guess. Anyways, they wake up, they start heading to school. So on Main Street, everyone's talking about the special lessons that are about to start. So there's a big event coming up. I'm just calling it the RSA competition. It does have an official name. I do not care enough to remember what it is. I'm not gonna lie, there was a string of 4 kanji in a row. And I was like, ooh, 4 kanji in a row? No hiragana? I'm not reading that. No, it has an official name. I'm just being lazy. Anyway, so there's that event going on, and people are excited for it. Some people are salty because they weren't chosen to participate in it. There's, a whole thing about being chosen to participate in the RSA competition. It's a multi-step process thing. There's, preliminaries, and then there's tests, and there's, a whole bunch that goes into it. But anyway, so they're doing special lessons, leading up to this event to prepare for it. Everyone has to do them, even if you weren't chosen, you're just kind of a practice partner, is the term that they use. So yeah, some people are kind of salty about not being chosen, other people are happy they were chosen. There's a lot going on. So the freshman squad all links up, they're all excited for it, although none of them made it, so they're kind of bummed about that. And they talk about, where they failed in the preliminaries and everything. But anyway, so they're talking about the event, and we know Spell Drive happens every year, that's just a given, but the 3 other events that are a part of this event, they don't know what it's going to be yet. So the week before the event starts, they'll reveal what the other 3 events are, but right now they're just kind of, training for everything, basically. So like I said, none of the freshmen got picked. Ordo cannot do it because he's technically not human. I mean, I get it, but honestly, I'm like, that kind of sucks. Sebek joins them, and he is actively sobbing, violently, while walking because he wasn't chosen, and he says, I can't fight alongside Malleus. Which, I'm not doubting that's it, but, everyone else in his family got chosen but him, so I think it's probably more of that. And speaking of his family, the rest of the Diafam arrives. Malleus looks fine. I mean, his horns look fine. I mean, he's always looking fine. But, his horns look normal, and you notices and they're just, staring at him what? And so he's like, why are you staring at me, Okay, no, we're not gonna spread the Malleus agenda tonight. So he's like, oh, is there something on my face? And they're like, hey, is your horn? Huh? And he's like, oh no, it's still broken, I'm just using illusionary magic to make it look whole. And I'm going to say there is no way that I could describe this and make his grandma sound good. There's no way. There's no way I can do that. But anyway, so everyone in the whole world knows that his horn was broken in the whole overblot thing, but his grandma urged him to cover it up because it's pathetic. She does say the word pathetic. You can see what I mean. I don't think she meant it in a, like, bad way, but, like, she wants him to keep up appearances, which also doesn't, again, you can see why I cannot describe this in a way that makes her look good. But I think it was more of, like, keep your chin up sort of thing. I mean, that doesn't even sound like, the right words, but, like, you guys get what I mean, right? I feel like I'm just gonna keep digging a hole. I'm gonna keep digging a hole if I keep talking. Anyway, so, the bell rings and everyone goes to class. We're gonna move on from militia. So the first special lesson we have is just spell drive. So Vargas is talking to some of the students and he's, like, really getting into it, which I find very funny because he did not go to RSA or NRC and he's like, we've been losing for 99 years, and it's like, how many years have you been here? I love that you're taking this personally, though. The peeps in this are Idia, Sebek, Floyd, and Kate. I love that I forgot Kate, and he's one of my favorite characters. I'm sorry, Diva. I love you. There's a whole bunch of people in this class. They split up into different teams. Of course, our guys are in the same team together. They play Spell Drive. I'm like, there's really nothing to say other than they play Spell Drive and they win the match. So the next special lesson that we watch is Relic Labyrinth with Silver, Malleus, Talim, and Ordo. Again, Ordo is there just as a practice partner. I mean, Sebek was also in his thing as a practice partner, but anyway. So Crowley is overseeing this one. So the thing is that they're in teams of, like, all these are in teams of 7, by the way. I should probably mention that right now, because literally all of them are that. Anyway, so they're in these special teams, and they have to go through this labyrinth and find mage stones that are low on power. And so you have to find them, grab them, take them back to your team's pedestal, and then, like, infuse your own magic into them, and whoever has the most wins. So Crowley, unprompted, by the way, is like, oh yeah, if you want to sabotage people, that's fine. Like, no one brought this up. I cannot stress, nobody brought up, hey, can we sabotage? No, he just gave this, unsolicited. He's like, oh yeah, if you want to fuck him up, go ahead. Like, don't get too crazy, but, like, if you want to do some shenanigans derogatory, that's fine. Love that for him. Concerned, but love that for him. They're also given maps of the labyrinth, which feels kind of weird considering the challenge, but okay. And also the map literally, it's not even just of the labyrinth, so they don't get lost. It's literally the map, and then there's also, like, the points where the stones are. Which, like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too mean about this, but I'm like, isn't part of the, like, challenge finding them in the first place? Like, why do you have maps? Like, I think it's a little weird, but anyways, they have the maps, they're doing the thing. So yeah, they go and grab the stones, they come back, they just kind of station Malleus at the pedestal, kind of like to deter other people. I mean, you can't steal them once they're on the pedestal, but like, you know, they left him there, you know? Anyway, so they bring back some stones, Malleus starts injecting them with magic, but he gets, like, dizzy and has his whole, like, magic failing thing. The thing that happened in, like, 7.5. So Ordo scans him and realizes that he is rapidly losing magic, so he has to take a break. The others fill in, but it's unfortunately not enough. They lose by just 2 points, which, oof, but oh well. The next special lesson is overseen by Cruel. It's Mystic Mortar. Weird way to spell bad dragon. God. Oh my god, that joke was not even funny. So it's Mystic Mortar, and they're having this on Mount Dwarf. I did, you know, also make the joke of like, oh, is there gonna be another phantom there? There wasn't. Thank God. Thank God. But anyway, so they're on Mount Dwarf. The whole thing is find ingredients and make a potion. Ruggy, Trey, and Lilia are here, and they are doing the thing. The team names are dog breeds, so, they're Team Chihuahua. Love that, though. They don't say what the other team is, but our boys, they're Team Chihuahua, right? So they go get ingredients, they make the potion. I don't think they said who won or not. I don't remember. I did not make a note. Well, I did make a note, so my notes say, wait, did they say who won? Question mark, question mark, question mark. There's, like, multiple question marks. I'll put a picture of it on screen. But anyways, they make the potion. Yeah. That's it. That's the tweet. You can see why when I first started scripting this, I was like, oh, this is such an easy-going update. This will be such an easy video. You can now see why I thought this, right? Next special lesson, it's called Maze Sprint. They're holding it in the Coliseum, and Crowley is overseeing it. We have Heart Shackle, Leona, and Rook, Ace immediately starts complaining and he's like, is it gonna be hard? Never change, King. Never change. So the rules of this are just they're going through a maze, and whoever gets to the end goal with the most players wins. But there's loads of obstacles, and Ace immediately starts complaining that it sounds hard, which, like, he's not wrong, but it's also, like, it's a competition. What were you expecting? Like, hello? So anyway, they're gonna be doing that. Again, the freshmen are just, like, practice partners there. And then Crowley is like, oh, this is too dangerous for you, so come take a tour with me. And I literally, my notes are, bitch, we're gonna die. I was like, oh no. Just, oh no, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. They ended up being fine. But anyway, Crowley's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be way too dangerous for you. Like, just hang out with me at the goal. Like, it'll be fine. You know, dad and, child bonding. I love that as soon as I'm thinking about Crowley, I cannot think of the word bonding. I'm like, oh, that's so far from him. Iconic for me. Anyways, so Crowley's like, okay, come with me, and then he also tells the others, like, do not let Grim get carried away since you isn't here. So they do the whole thing, they're running through things, it's an obstacle course, basically, but, like, with magic and, like, illusions and stuff. And as Crowley and you are, like, you know, chilling at the end watching, you was just like, damn, that looks really, really hard, and Crowley's like, yup! Yes, it is! And also, unfortunately, he's, I'm like, I feel so bad for them. But he says that the current course that they're practicing on is actually just half of the size of what the actual one is gonna be if they do it. Massive oof, but oh well. He also says, like, oh, you look so enthusiastic about cheering the others on, like, you know, do your best for cheering them on the actual day of. And he comments he might make some little cheering goods, which honestly was kind of cute. But I'm also like, what are you getting at? I know you have an ulterior motive, what is it? Like I'm sorry, I thought of the song from Angels of Passion. The absolute banger. I guess one of the absolute bangers. Okay, oh my god. Okay, let's get through this. So next special lesson. It's called Seeker's Gathering. It's also at Mount Dwarf. Jamil, Vil, and Azul are here. Sam is running it. He's going over the rules, and we learn that he has beef with the store person at RSA, and it's Mrs. T's dream shop. Sam, I love you. I do think it is a little cringe to be beefing with someone whose store is called the Dream Shop. So he has beef with Mrs. T. I don't know how the beef started, but, like, you know, there's a rivalry going on. So the teams for Seeker's Gathering, again, it's a team of 7. So they have to collect items that are being guarded by, I'm gonna be honest, it's demonic beasts. I'm gonna be honest, though, I forget what kanji they use for dire beast. So it might be dire beast, and I just forgot that, like, oh yeah, that's how it's, you know, then. But anyway, it's like a big magical creature that's, like, guarding the thing. They get files on the beasts and, like, info on them, so they're not going in completely blind against these things, which I think is a good idea. And the one that they're going against today is the Flop Toad, which I will be referring to as the Flop, because for obvious reasons. So they go against the Flop. It takes out the NPCs. Our boys are, you know, victorious in the end, though, and they have to grab its egg, which that ends up posing a little bit of a problem because it's covered in, like, venomous jelly. Poisonous jelly? I know there's a difference. I don't care what the difference is. Anyway, the jelly is bad. It can penetrate rubber gloves. So they have to be very careful about how they transport the egg, but they do get it and stuff, so they end up being okay. I mean, I don't know about the NPCs. I'm assuming they're fine. I don't care about them. It's fine. So anyway, the next special lesson, it's hosted by Train. It's Apple, Jack, Jade, and Riddle. They're all in the cafeteria, and it's basically an escape room. Like, they're literally just in a room, and their thing is that they have to decipher riddles and codes to get to, like, a final location and to escape, and whoever escapes first wins. So, yeah, escape room. And so they just do escape room stuff. So, those are all of the events that at least we're seeing for now. And then we get a little meal break with the freshman squad. everyone's kind of frustrated how they couldn't keep up with the upperclassmen, and of course they're like, well, we need to keep training, but also like, this sucks. Subby gets a text from Silver asking where he is, and it turns out that like, even though they're having these really hard lessons, the clubs are not taking days off, so Sebek has to like, sprint to the stables, which big oof. But anyway, so they're just like, oh man, like we still have club stuff going on. Ace says that he wants to do some Mickey investigation, but he can't because this and the club stuff are like too tiring. Everyone dips, and Grimm is like, yeah, we really can't depend on them even though they said they'd help. I feel like that's foreshadowing, and I'm a little nervous about that, honestly. But anyway, he also has club stuff going on, and basically, like, it turns out that I guess, like, for clubs you have to keep logs and stuff, and if you don't have enough logs and you're not, like, proving that you're doing club stuff, like, you get disbanded. So he's like, let's head out, which I guess implies that, like, you was in the Gourmand Club with him. I'm gonna be honest, I just assumed you was in the newspaper club because of the, birthday vignettes from, like, the first birthday cycle. I just assumed they were in the newspaper club. So them being in the Gourmand Club, apparently, I'm just like, what? Like, are they in both? I mean, I guess they could be in both, but anyway, I thought that was really weird. Anyway, so they also dip too. So then we cut to a teacher meeting. All the teachers are together and they're discussing training and talking about a lot of the students having trouble. Sam shows up late, which honestly fair because he's not a teacher, but I think he should be. I'm gonna be so real. But anyway, so Sam shows up and it's not just because like he probably should be reporting on overseeing stuff. But he has a delivery for Train, which is an ancient history book that like, it's being lent out to him. It's not like he bought it. It's like being lent out. So Vargas is like, oh, cool history book. And he starts to, like, try and touch it, but Lucius literally, like, slaps at him, like, with claws to make him not. The book is literally, like, so old you have to have, like, gloves to handle it. Like, it's basically an artifact. And this is where this is part 22 and 23. So this is where things start going crazy. So Train asked to borrow this book because he's been curious about Silver's ring and he wanted to do research on it. He has an inkling it's something called a wish piece. Yeah, this is where the insanity starts. I'm like, oh my god, where do I even fucking begin with these? So, a wish piece is like a magical artifact that has like an entity in it that responds to strong wishes and causes miracles. Or like, you know, it's just like a thing that responds. Like, I don't know if it's like necessarily like a spirit in it, but like, it responds to strong wishes and it causes miracles that like can change the course of countries, like histories and stuff. They're massively, you know, powerful. So other wish pieces are like the magic lamp, a glass slipper, I'm blanking on the actual- My friend Kane is gonna be so fucking mad at me. He loves Beauty and the Beast, so he's gonna be so mad that I don't remember this. But the rose, like the rose in the glass from Beauty and the Beast, that's also a wish piece. So, they like always come in times of turmoil, and like I said, they're said to change the fate of countries. And they talk about it a little bit. Vargas recognizes the rose one, the glass slipper is Shaftland's folklore, and so they kind of chat like, oh yeah, like, you know, da-da-da, and just kind of telling us what we already know about them from, you know, Disney canon. So Train thinks that Silver's ring might have been a wish piece. They know that Lilia died and got resurrected, and Crowley brings up that this, you know, resurrection was also discussed at the Sages Island Safety Committee meeting thingy, where there's like a whole bunch of different, you know, reps there from like him and Styx and everything. They're all like chatting about this, and I guess, you know, people know that, okay, I don't know if like everyone in the world knows that Lilia died and got resurrected, or if it's more of like a secret thing, but people know. Like, people do know though. So they talk about the ring a bit and kind of its history. So they figured out that the ring stone came from Thunder Mountain, and I'm sorry, I'm just reading that now and I'm like, wait, Big Thunder Mountain? I love that ride so much. So Thunder Mountain used to be in Briar Valley. It's no longer there, but it used to be a part of it, like when it was Briarland and everything. So the fragments of Silver's ring were compared with similar stones in the Royal Collection, which were from Thunder Mountain, and that's how they figured out that they're like from the same place. They also bring up the Princess Glow, which, you know, rumored to cure incurable diseases, and it was also like a massive stone that strengthened the wielder's magic. It wasn't just like, it can cure stuff, it also makes people stronger. So the Princess Glow and the ring were very likely from the same vein and are sister stones, because, you know, all this comparing and stuff, so that's how they figured it out. And they revealed that the Princess Glow basically disappeared after it was placed into Maleanor's staff. really the last kind of whereabouts they know about it are that it was placed into the staff and Bladevale did manage to get it, but after that it's like completely lost from history and nobody knows what happened to it. Train is determined to figure out where it is and figure out what happened to it, and so he's tracking down old documents to try and find it, hence why he's got this book. And he's doing it all for academic glory, baby, which honestly, yeah, I felt that. So Train is, trying to track it down. Later that night, he's in the library reading that book, and he finds a little bit of it is a, kind of recollection from one of Leia's maids that escaped from Bladevale, so she ended up living. And so she's talking and kind of giving her account. So the Princess Glow was turned into a cup to try and save Leia and Henrik's dad. It actually worked, which I'm going to be totally honest. I thought the whole, it can cure stuff. I thought they were just bullshitting. I'm going to be so real. I thought Henrik just made that up. I thought, oh yeah, he's just trying to find a way to, lie and get the Princess Glow because he's greedy and he wants power. Genuinely, I just assumed they were lying. And then that just kind of became, part of the lore of that, they say that it could just because Henrik said it is. No, turns out that it actually was rumored to do that. So yeah, Henrik and Leia's dad is fine. But yeah, so they, turned the Princess Glow into this massive fucking cup. And, it just kind of remained with Bladevale. So, just as a reminder of, the history, Bladevale did not last very long. It probably lasted maybe about 30 years, being generous. So anyway, with all the, wars and, conflicts going on around Bladevale and in Bladevale, Leia was worried about the cup being misused, and so she entrusted it to the 3 fairies that were, BFFs with the Dawn Knight and stuff. I don't know if he was already dead by this point. They don't say. They don't, mention him at all. Which I think is kind of funny. But anyway, they don't mention him at all. So I don't know. So they entrust it to the fairies, and then while Train is reading this, he's like, hey, didn't I read something about a cup and fairies? So, he goes through his other stuff, and he finds a book from, the Kingdom of Heroes. He's reading it, and it's saying that these fairies entrusted this, super special cup with a wizard named Ambrose. Again, we can see why this got crazy really fast. And Train is like, wait. Do you mean Ambrose, Ambrose? Same name as the guy from Royal Sword Academy? So he's like, wait, what? So he runs to Crowley's office and is, banging on the door and is like, let me in. And he's like, I need to see a picture of last year's trophy cup from the RSA competition thing. And Crowley is just like, okay. Why? And Train is just like, because of the Princess Glow, I need to see it. And Crowley's like, okay, I guess. So he does. And the cup, it is so ugly. I cannot stress how fucking ugly and tacky, derogatory this cup is. I absolutely will be 3D printing this. It is so ugly, but anyway, it has the Princess Glow in it, and so this cup that, apparently can, cure diseases and stuff, is just being used as a school trophy. Yeah, yeah, that tracks. That tracks, I guess. Oh my god, I have a lot of opinions on that, but anyways, so we found the Princess Glow within the span of 3 parts, basically. So a couple days later, we immediately move on from that. We get that reveal, and then we just move on. It's a few days later. The House Wardens are just getting out of a meeting where they were having, discussions about the RSA competition and everything. And so everyone's excited for the thing, and they're determined to win the cup, not because they know it's the Princess Glow. Oh my god, could you imagine having to drop that information hey, Malleus, by the way, your mother's mage stone, the one that she was killed over? Your dead mom who was murdered? It's actually just on the other side of the, island, in the ugliest cup known to man. He would overblot again, and frankly, yeah. Imagine your murdered mom, one of the few heirlooms you would have left of her, gets turned into the ugliest souvenir cup that you could ever fucking imagine. Diabolical. Anyway, so people are determined to win the cup just because, they want to win, school rivalry and stuff. And that's where it ends. That's just where the update ends. Everyone's like, yeah, competition, we're gonna win. And Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Yeah, it went 0 to 100 really fast. Like, first when I was reading, I'm like, oh, this is such a nice little read. Like, it's chill. And then the last, like, 3-4 parts, they're like, hey, wanna see something? And it's like, oh, no. Oh, no. But anyway, so that was wild. And it also, like, raises a whole bunch of questions, which, I mean, obviously, because, like, that's kind of the job of a story. I have to wonder if Ambrose is, like, listen, I have no supporting evidence for this other than, like, apparently it does actually cure diseases. But I have to wonder, like, is Ambrose, like, not actually, like, the 63rd of the line of Ambrose? Like, what if he's just, like, the same Ambrose and he's just been keeping himself alive this whole time with the cup? Like, if it can cure diseases and stuff, like, what else can it do? You know, like, could it keep people alive longer? Like, I don't know. I have to wonder if, like, that's, like, what's going on. And I also have to wonder, like, and also the stuff about the Princess Glow, I'm just like, oh, that just kept getting worse and worse. Like, I don't feel like I could, you know, eloquently say my thoughts on it other than, so right now I'm just gonna say, oof. Oof, though. But yeah, so this was a very interesting update. And I'm excited for the rest of Book 8, honestly. Like, I'm very hyped for it. But I'm just like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot. Before we go, I'd like to thank my ladyfingers in waiting who support me and allow me to continue to do this. A massive thank you and telepathic snacky treat to Michgal2189, Omimi, Visa, Annette, Orion, Dorcas, Lady Lunarine, Farafo, Crabjail, Richter, Ukaku, Yozula Kiseki, Yungumo. Thank you guys, and I'm Kiryu a lot, and thank you for your support. If you would also like to become a ladyfinger in waiting, I have channel memberships, and also, like, if Twitch is more of your thing, though, I do have Twitch memberships. I just list everyone together at the end of videos, so, like, yeah. But anyways, thank you guys, and I care you, and if you've made it this far, thank you too. I will be doing this, I mean, I do this all the time, like, I do this for everything. So, I will see you guys for the next update, or if you want, I have other videos that you can watch and everything, but, I need to get to work. It's 4 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I need to get to work on this. So yeah, I will see you guys later, and yeah, bye everybody!